From Holy Mackerel Productions World Headquarters at the Swampwater Lounge, Winery, and Health Spa. Yeah, we got it all right here. This is the Main Event Radio Show. The Main Event. Homegrown is good for you. Get your entertainment homegrown right here. Hi, I'm Dan Foley. Good to have your company as we cruise the entertainment highways and byways of the Pine Tree State and beyond. So let's get rolling, shall we? Here it comes down that electronic highway, this edition of the Main Event Radio Show.
It's a long and dusty road, it's a hard and a heavy load, and the folks you meet aren't always kind. Some are bad and some are good, some have done the best they could, some have tried to ease my trouble in mind. And I can't help but wonder where I'm bound, where I'm bound. Can't help but wonder where I'm bound.
I've wandered through this land, just doing the best I can, trying to find out what I was meant to do. And the people that I see look as worried as can be, and it looks like they've been wondering too. And I can't help but wonder where I'm bound, where I'm bound. Can't help but wonder where I'm bound.
Well, I had a little girl one time, she had lips like sherry wine, and she loved me until my head went plumb insane. But I was too blind to see she was drifting away from me, and my good gal went off on the morning train. And I
can't help but wonder where I'm bound, where I'm bound. Can't help but wonder where I'm bound.
I had a buddy back home, he started out to roll, and I hear he's out by Frisco Bay. Sometimes when I've had a few, his voice comes singing through, and I'm going to meet him some old day. And I
can't help but wonder where I'm bound, where I'm bound. Can't help but wonder where I'm bound.
If you see me passing by, and you sit and you wonder why, and you wish you were a rambler too, nail your shoes to the kitchen floor, lace them up and bar the door, and thank the stars for the roof that's over you.
And I can't help but wonder where I'm bound, where I'm bound. Can't help but wonder where I'm bound. And I can't help but wonder where I'm bound, where I'm bound. Can't help but wonder where I'm bound.
Well, there's a rust on this road that I'm walking down. I'm thinking about leaving this sad little town. And it's been raining here for months, and I'm soaked to the bone, and my boots, they're so heavy that they're slowing me down. Well, I know this road by heart. I walked it in my dreams, I walked it as a boy, and I walked it in my teens, and I'm walking it again now for the umpteenth millionth time, and I'd like to just keep walking past that city limit sign. and I got rusty old memories in the rusty cobwebs of my mind. I got rust on my soul, I got rust all the time. On this road that I'm walking down, I'm thinking about leaving this sad little town. It's been raining here for months and I'm soaked to the bone, and my boots, they're so heavy that they're slowing me down.
Homegrown is good for you. The main event is radio the way it should be.
Ain't no fun for the Reverend son to carry that family name. For the woman that he wants to marry, he's bringing his family shame. Papa like to preach about throwing no stones, we're blowing them every which way. She ain't a sign in the window, and everybody knows her name. In the back of a second-hand store, wearing a dress that some other bride wore, she holds a list of the things to be done. When into the room burst the Reverend son. Darling, I fear that my feet grow too weary from walking this life. All of my life I've been doing what's right, no more towing this family line. Ain't no fun for the Reverend son to carry that family name. For the woman that he wants to marry, he's bringing his family shame. Papa like to preach about throwing no stones, we're throwing them every which way. She hangs a sign in the window, and everybody knows her name. In a room at their favorite motel, bags are all packed and she waits by herself, counting the hours she prays he will come, doubting the words of the Reverend son. Darling, I fear that my feet are too weary from walking this life. All of my life I've been doing what's right, and I must keep on towing this carry that family name. For the woman that he wants to marry, it's bringing his family shame. Papa like to preach about throwing those stones and blowing them every which way. She hangs out in the window, and everybody knows her name. For the reverend son to carry that family name. For the woman that he wants to marry, is bringing his family shame. Papa like to preach about throwing those stones and throwing them every which way. She hangs out in the window, and everybody knows her name. She hangs out in the window, and everybody knows her name. Inside of the window, everybody knows her name.
You know the moon hangs like a lantern in the sky. Oh, the moon hangs like a lantern in the sky. And when I kiss you, baby, I see moonbeams in your eyes. You know your love has found a home in my heart. Your sweet love has found a home in my heart. And when I kiss you, baby, it's like we never ever been apart. Baby, baby, crazy love tonight.
love you just one more time. And we can pour the moonbeams out like wine. You know the moon hangs like a lantern in the sky. That old moon hangs like a lantern in the sky. You, baby, I see moonbeams in your eyes.
Maine Event Radio Show. That's David Wakefield. Moonbeams. That's pretty blue, isn't it? It was Barnaby Bright before that who gave us Reverend's Son. From Shirt Tail Kin, we got Rust. And starting off, it was Make 'Em in Spain. I can't help but wonder where I'm bound. Good old folk song for us to get things rolling for this edition of the Main Event. We're on Facebook. Check out the Main Event Radio Show page and hear this and other recent programs posted right there on our page. This one is called 0720. We're also on the web at meradio.org. Just go to meradio.org and you'll find the latest edition of the program right there for you to listen to anytime you want. And of course, we are on this fine station, and thank you for tuning into the broadcast. It's always good to have your company. Let's continue now with some stories of the woods about Joe Perham's Uncle Trapper on the Main Event Radio Show.
I have a little song here. It's dedicated to all those poor jokers who spend hours, days, and weeks out trapping. I'm dedicating it especially to my uncle, who was the greatest of them all. Well, I see that you are a trapper, and not some common bum. For nobody but a trapper stirs his coffee with his thumb. My uncle, he was a trapper, ain't none like him today. If you'd pour enough whiskey on it, he would eat a bale of hay. He never shaved his whiskers from off his horny hide. He'd drive them in with a hammer and he'd bite them off inside. I saw my uncle leaving, wandering through the snow, going bravely trapping at 48 below. Well, the weather, it tried to freeze him. It tried its level best. At 100 degrees below zero, he buttoned up his vest. Well, it froze clear through to China. It froze the leaves and the grass. At 1,000 degrees below zero, it froze my uncle's ass. Now, I forgot to tell you, I think, that my uncle always took his pet donkey out with him on the trap line. Said he really missed that animal. Said trapping wasn't the same without it. No, he got so lonesome that he got married for the second time. She was 30, you see, and he was 80. And his eyes weren't too good for that matter. And being out on the trap line so much, it got so that he was being bothered by step-husbands hanging around. You know what I mean by step-husbands? They're the ones that step in when the real husband steps out. Well, it's like this guy up the Bryant Pond, awful jealous-hearted fella. Well, he come in off the lake one day early, and he see his wife standing there in the living room, and he says, "Who's been here?" Well, she says, "Ain't been nobody here." Well, he says, I has, and I'm going to beat you. Well, she says, you may beat me, but remember, the man above knows all things. And the man above says, yes, and there's a fella on the bed knows just as much as I do. Well, my uncle, as I was telling you, he come home here one day, and, well, I'll sing it to you. Well, home come my uncle, oh, home came he. He see a strange horse where his horse ought to be. Says, dear wife, oh, darling wife, oh, loving wife, says he, whose horse is that where my horse ought to be? And she says, you're crazy, you're silly, why can't you see? Ain't nothing but a milk cow my ma sent to me. And he says, 1,000 miles to travel, 1,000 miles or more, but a saddle on a milk cow I never see before. I said, home come the old man, oh, home came he. He see a strange cot where his cot ought to be. He tell me, dear wife, oh, darling wife, oh, loving wife, says he, whose cot is that where my cot ought to be? Well, you're crazy, you're silly, why can't you see? Ain't nothing but a blanket my ma sent to me. Well, 1,000 miles I traveled, 1,000 miles or more, but buttons on a blanket I never see before. Well, home came the old man, oh, home came he. See a strange hat where his hat ought to be. He tell me, dear wife, oh, darling wife, oh, loving wife, says he, tell me, whose hat is that where my hat ought to be? Well, you're crazy, you're silly, why can't you see? Ain't nothing left, nothing but a chamber pot my ma sent to me. Well, 1,000 miles I traveled, 1,000 miles or more, but a chamber pot size 7 I never see before. Well, home came the old man, oh, home came he. See strange boots where his boots ought to be. Dear wife, oh, darling wife, oh, loving wife, says he, whose boots are them where my boots ought to be? You're crazy, you're silly, why can't you see? Ain't nothing but some milk jugs my ma sent to me. And he says, I had 1,000 miles to travel, 1,000 miles or more, but spurs on a milk jug I never see before. Well, home came that old man, oh, home came he. He see a strange head where his head ought to be. He tell me, dear wife, oh, darling wife, oh, loving wife, says he, whose head is that where my head ought to be? You're crazy, you're silly, why can't you see? It's nothing but a cabbage my ma sent to me. Well, 1,000 miles I traveled, 1,000 miles or more, but a mustache on a cabbage I never see before. That's all there is to that, thank God. I'm gonna practice it a little more.
So you've been to Moody's Diner and Laterno's Auto Parts and most every major landmark in between. And though you're from away, you'll fit in most any day when you're wearing your new boots from LL Bean. You know what I mean. Boots from LL Bean, they go awful good with black or red or green. And you look more like a Mainer than any out-of-stater in your chamois shirt and boots from LL Bean. So you'd like to catch some trout or a salmon without doubt, but you can't go boating without Dramamine. But you've got a fishing vest with 20 pockets, it's the best, which you purchased with your boots at LL Bean. Now you can't buy boots like these at any other store, not Bloomingdale's or Rennie's or Filene's. But any time of night or day, stop at Freeport and just say, I want some rubber bottom boots from LL Bean. And they'll know what you mean. Oh, boots from LL Bean. The ones that go awful good with black or red or green. look more like a Mainer than any out-of-stater that we've ever seen. In your fishing vest and boots from Ella Bean. Now these boots cost somewhat more than those from another store, but they'll look so sharp with your designer jeans. And though the cost is a dite high, they are still a good buy, for there is status in those boots from Ella Bean. So you'd like to catch a deer, there's big bucks in Maine, you hear. As a hunter you are somewhat green, but you'll bring a case of bud and go traipsing through the mud with 9 pals, all wearing boots from LLB. 'Cause they know what you mean. Boots from LLB, they go awful good with black or red or green. And you'll all look more like Mainers than any out-of-staters that we've ever seen. In your rubber bottom boots from LLB. I've got one more thing to say to ya. If you're ever in Acadia, I'll probably know you when you make the scene. For your custom motorhome has a lot of extra chrome, and you'll be sporting brand new boots from LLB. You'll look like any outdoors man with your artificial tan, and you'll be carrying a Down East magazine. And you'll be saying wicked good just like any Yankee would, and showing off those boots from LLB. You know what I mean. Boots from LLB, they go awful good with black or red or green. And you look more like a Mainer than any out-of-stater in your rubber bottom boots from LLB.
Not just another pretty radio show. It's the Maine Event Radio Show.
I'll bring you flowers when you're dead and gone, asleep in the pines in the valley of the mountain. Next to you I'll lay my bones when I've reached my prime, beside the brandy wine where I finally find my rest. Oh, lover, I'll see you there, waiting in the willows with your autumn hair. Oh, lover, I'll see you there, after many miles.
I swear I've known you from another time, and I caught you down the line, but I couldn't stop you moving. And when I found you by the riverside, its waters wild and wide, you left me again.
Oh, lover, I'll see you there, waiting in the willows with your autumn hair. Oh, lover, I'll see you there, after many miles.
An echo of an echo is a semblance of a sound, and I pressed and I've waited with my ear upon the ground. But the shovel, it digs deep, and the calluses grow over. Like a mirror to a mirror, the canyons call your name.
Oh, lover, I'll see you there, waiting in the willows with your autumn hair. Oh, lover, I'll see you there, after many miles. Oh, lover, I'll see you there, waiting in the willows with your autumn hair. Oh, lover, I'll see you there, after many miles.
Ghost of Paul Revere, After Many Miles, on the Main Event. And we heard Sandy River Ramblers, Boots from LL Bean. You gotta have that quality if you're gonna come to Maine, because Maine stuff is about quality. Joe Parham and Stories of Uncle Trapper got that little set started. You know, a lot of people who are performing artists, and a lot of the ones we hear on this program, are doing stuff in this odd situation we find ourselves in to still bring the music to the public. Virtual concerts, for instance. And as a matter of fact, I heard just a day or two ago that some of the bigger festivals and concerts are also going virtual, such as the North Atlantic Blues Festival this year. So check it out. You can still find great entertainment, of course, this radio show right here, but actual musicians doing the stuff for us, and it's all on various platforms. Check it out, and you can support your local artists that way during this pandemic thing, and keeping yourselves and everybody else safe at the same time. It's a win. We've got more to do with this edition of the program, so stick around if you can. As a matter of fact, we're going to visit the Vault O Vinyl pretty shortly, and that's always exciting. We grab a record from our Vault O Vinyl and play something from it for you. Yep, we're going to do that pretty shortly. Meanwhile, the entertainment continues. Annie Clark, Big Water, the main event.
I met you by the river with no holds barred. It was sink or swim and we were gonna play hard. Zipping up my life vest, looking round the bend. I only knew I couldn't know how the day would end. Yeah. The water was churning, we were doing okay. The weather started turning, we kept on anyway. Stubborn and excited, flirting with the falls. We hit the big kahuna and lost it all. Playing in the big water, dancing in the river flow. Playing in the big water, watching the river go. Playing in the big water, in the hands of the river guide. Playing in the not knowing when, but you're wet and tired and ready to ride again. Playing in the big water, dancing in the river flow. Playing in the big water, just watching the river go. Playing in the big water, in the hands of the river guide. Playing in the big water. Ride, playing in the big, big
dragonfly into my bedroom. Was it you? 'Cause it's buzzing around my head like a hurricane. Was it you? Moonlight on my windowsill. Did it fly from the cornfield or up over the hill? 'Cause it's buzzing around my head, got me spinning here. Was it you? I don't know why you, I don't know why you, I don't know why you came to me. I don't know why you, I don't know why you, I don't know why you came to me. Red dress on my doorstep, honeysuckle blooming through a front porch screen, perfume on my pillowcase, empty bed in an empty room. There's a dragonfly flying and a red dress hanging from the moon. I don't know why you, I don't know why you, I don't know why you came to me. I don't know why you, I don't know why you, I don't know why you came to me. Came to me. Who let the dragon fly into my bedroom? Was it you?
Main Event Radio Show. Ellis Paul, Dragonfly. Annie Clark gave us Big One, a couple nice songs from fairly well-known Maine artists. That's what you get with this and every edition of the Main Event Radio Show, including other stuff, like a visit to the Vault of Vinyl, and that's what we're going to do right now, as we grab a record from Days Gone By Yodelin' Slim Clark. So we're going to hear some couple cowboy tunes coming up on vinyl from Yodelin' Slim, and it's called The Abilene Drive, and we'll hear another from Simons and Goodwin. Here it is, Yodelin' Slim, Abilene Drive, as we visit the Vault of Vinyl on the Main Event Radio Show.
The sun is a-burning down on the old trail. My hide is a-getting as tough as old nails. For weeks we've been pushing along this old run. I'll sure be glad when this roundup is done. So roll along, dogies, and don't be so mean. It's a dusty old run to old Abilene. Get along, dogies, and be on your way. Come on, old Dan, let's bring in that stray. Ho-la-la, 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 dee-dee. I-de-dee-de-dee, ho-la-la-dee. Hello, ho-la-la, ho-la-la, dee-dee. I-de-dee-de-dee, at night we bed down neath the twinkling stars, while some of the boys sing to strumming guitars. When slumber takes over, your life is at stake. You might wake up hugging an old rattlesnake. So roll along, dogies, and don't be so mean. It's a dusty old run to old Abilene. Get along, dogies, and be on your way. Come on, old Dan, let's bring in that stray. Oh, Again we go rolling and a-pushing them on. We'll soon reach the river, I can hear her old song. Through a cool shady valley and a rocky old glen, where signs show clear where the red men have been. So roll along, dogies, and don't be so mean. It's a dusty old run to old Abilene. Get along, dogies, and be on your way. Come on, old Dan, let's bring in that stray. When the roundup is over and I draw my pay, I'll head back to Texas, a-planning to stay. I'll find my true darling and ask for her hand, 'cause boy, she's the sweetest young belle in this land. Roll along, dogies, and don't be so mean. It's a dusty old run to old Abilene. Get along, dogies, and be on your way. Come on, old Dan, let's bring in that stray.
The Maine Event, real radio for real people just like you.
Many months have come and gone since I've wandered from my home in those Oklahoma hills where I was born. Many pages of my life has turned, many lessons I have learned, and I feel like in those hills where I was born. Way down yonder in the Indian Nation, riding my pony on the reservation in the Oklahoma hills where I was born. Way down yonder in the Indian Nation, a cowboy's life is my occupation in the Oklahoma hills where I was born. Now as I sit here today, many miles I am away from the place I rode my pony through the draw, where the oak and blackjack trees kiss the faithful prairie breeze, and I feel like in those hills where I was born. Way down yonder in the Indian Nation, riding my pony on the reservation in the Oklahoma hills where I was born. Way down yonder in the Indian Nation, a cowboy's life is my occupation in the Oklahoma hills where I was born. Page to the land of the great old sage in those Oklahoma hills where I was born, where the black oil rolls and flows and the snow white cotton grows, and I feel like in those hills where I was born. Way down yonder in the Indian Nation, riding my pony on the reservation in the Oklahoma hills where I was born. Way down yonder in the Indian Nation, a cowboy's life is my occupation in the Oklahoma hills where I was born.
sleep on my mind. Caroline beneath my shoes. Now I'm wasting all this time. Too much smoke and too much gloom. Seems like I spend my life in the passing rain. I still miss you when it rains. You days in Salt Lake and get a call from Chicago. I'll be there one day's time. On my way to Ohio. After that, just don't know. Drive some more and try to chase them in the weather. Murfreesboro all night long. Head to Lexington and dawn. Few new faces, few new songs. Few more years long, long gone. Time to make my way back home. Hoping you're still waiting where I left you. Local up on my mind. Marching off beneath my shoes. And I'm wasting all this time. Too much smoke and too much gloom. It seems like I spend my life in the passing rain. I still miss you when it rains.
The Maine Event with the Mallet Brothers Band. That one's called Tennessee, and that's just one way of getting around the good old USA. Another would be riding around those Oklahoma hills. We heard that Woody Guthrie song from Simons and Goodwin, and yodeling Slim Clark, the Abilene Drive. Well, I hope you're keeping yourself and the folks around you safe, because that's the big deal these days. And if we all pitch in and make sure we're doing that, I think we'll get through this, because we've got through other things too, and it's a rough one, but we stick together, we get it done. So remain calm and continue to tune into the Maine Event Radio Show with me, Dan Foley. And let's hear now from Jason Spooner, Color of Rain, the Maine Event.
We are the faces of the in-betweens. We are the sons of Sam. Spent a long time living like Americans who sold the American dream to a carnival on a movie screen. We are the ways and means, and we fall. We fall. Focus on the faces of the nightly news. We build the dark machine, see the spectacle inside the magazine, and we hold the skeleton key when the truth is locked inside a factory. We hold the skeleton key, but we fall. We fall. Reason fades away in the light of day. Freedom's fade away. We can't break away. We can't break away. What is the color of rain? When there's an old man sleeping on the street again. What is the color of rain? When There's a dead man lying on the street again. What is the color of rain? When it falls, we fall.
I needed to find out who I was and what I was supposed to do. Not knowing any better, I set out to try to do everything I was asked. As a boy, I learned that I was not meant to be a simple or pleasing son. I learned that I was not meant to excel in school. I learned that I was not good with money or business, that I was not meant to finish long or difficult projects. I was not meant to be carefree or graceful. As a young man, I learned that I was not designed to be a selfless, generous, or honest lover. I was not meant to work a job that paid well. I was not sure of much. I was not thick-skinned. I was not peaceful or brave. Now, I don't mean to say that I didn't learn anything. Far from it. I had gifts. I was sometimes charming. I was a likable smartass. I had the beginnings of a decent criminal imagination. I was a pretty good dreamer and drinker. I had an extensive jukebox in my head. I could make music and tell stories. I had moments of love, and clarity, and energy, even joy. If this were some sort of aptitude survey, it would have a happy ending. I was born to be humble and heartbroken and grateful. I was born to spend half my time in a hidden, mystical world. I was meant to build kites from words and raise them into the wind. Whatever this is, I was born for it.
There's Dave Morrison on the main event with I guess we could call that a thoughtful piece. Dave doesn't call himself a musician, really. He's chiefly a poet. So a little musing from Dave Morrison is called Born for It. As we heard also from Jason Spooner, The Color of Rain. And that brings us to time to put a wrap on this edition of the Main Event Radio Show. With thanks to this station for putting us on the air, and thanks to you for joining me, and thanks especially to Kevin Foley for getting the IT work done that I have no clue about. I hope you're going to be here next time, because I know I will, when the main event comes your way once again. Till then, Dan Foley signing off for the Main Event Radio Show, a Holy Mackerel production, coming to you from the cultural center of the known universe in Kennebec County. Here's the 2013 Mount Blue High School Jazz Band, How High the Moon. Be safe.